Happy Tree Friends is one of my favourite animated shows, and is full of hilarious moments, charming and likeable characters. But every popular animated show has mistakes, and this video is dedicated to some that I think many would find interesting. The idea for this video was a suggestion that came from Tia the HTF fan. In A Sight for Sore Eyes, Russell is seen running with his kite. He keeps looking at it and does not pay attention to what is in front of him, causing him to run into the mole. When he runs into him, his hook disappears and is replaced with another hand. In the episode called ICU, Nutty enters a convenience store and checks if he has any cash, but he has none and becomes sad. He then notices that Lumpy is stuck. He then becomes happy because now he can steal without Lumpy trying to stop him. If you pause at the right moment, you can see Nutty's eyes clipping through his eyelids. But what is interesting is that this goof was fixed in the MondoMedia.com version and the blurb version too. In keeping it real, Flippy is in the cinema and watches a Buddhist monkey episode. It causes him to flip out and he starts killing the other characters. Now after I tell you this, you won't be able to unsee it. But when he attacks Mime and Petunia, he can be seen with this mouth upside down. Toothy is well known for his two large teeth with a gap in between them, instead of the standard buck teeth that most of the characters have. But Toothy can be seen with the standard buck teeth many times during season 1 and 2. Here are some examples. But when the TV series came, Toothy is seen with the standard buck teeth much less often. But what is strange is that he can be seen with standard buck teeth on the cover of the TV series Volume 1 DVD. In Minds of 5, Mime walks past a shop with many gag items visible in the front window. After walking by, he then realises that he just saw a unicycle, and becomes disappointed due to him not having any money. But when he realises that he just saw a unicycle, for a moment you can see not just one, but two mimes at the same time. In Wishy Washy, Petunia is in the shower. She takes the towel off the rail and wraps it around her head. He then takes it off, then folds it up and puts it into the hamper. He then notices muck on her mirror, so decides to clean it. He puts some rubber gloves and then wraps toilet paper around her hand. But if you look behind her, you can see that the towel is no longer in the hamper, and is now on the rail again, and it stays on it for the rest of the episode. In Who's the Flame, Petunia and Giggles are set on fire. Mime leaves Petunia's home and finds firefighters. Cuddles then notices the home on fire and tells the other firefighters. For a moment you can see Sniffles is missing a part of his glasses. In Every Little Bit Hurts, Sniffles' blood lands on Giggles' face, but perfectly none of it lands on her head marking. When Lumpy leaves, Giggles now has blood on her head marking, but also on her ears and bow. Also in the episode, after the blood is washed off her, she stands up and looks at the natural beauty, but the shadow on the back of her head is covering up the back of her head marking. In Chill Kringle, now this is for me the goof that is the easiest to spot in the show. Petunia is on a frozen lake with ice skates, where Marmot knocks into her, causing her to roll down a hill and becomes a snowball, and lightly bumps into Mime. Well, can you see the problem? If you have not noticed, the size of the snowball should be much bigger. Earlier, Petunia is the correct scale with Crow Marmot, so this episode makes Mime look massive. Because later we can see her inside sitting, Petunia and Crow Marmot will be no bigger than this compared to Mime. In the episode called We're Screwed, Toothy is working for Lumpy, and a pair of chattering teeth bites off Toothy's finger, and Cuddles along with Giggles thinks that it's a fun toy, causing Lumpy to see money. Toothy almost falls into the box full of chattering teeth, but Lumpy stops it from happening. Lumpy's want for money then causes him to let go of him, and Toothy falls into the box, causing him to be shredded to pieces. We can see that Toothy's heart gets launched out of the box, but when we get a view of the inside of the box, the heart is back inside. Additionally, the goof of blood landing on Giggle's face but not on her head marking also happens in this episode too.